You walk into a room. Your cat opens their eyes, sees you, and then does a long, slow, full body stretch. Front paws reaching forward, back arching, sometimes a wide yawn at the end of it. Then they settle back and look at you as if nothing happened. You've probably smiled at it and walked on. It looks like they just happened to wake up at that moment. But that stretch was not random, and it was not just physical. It was directed at you, and it is actually one of the most affectionate things a cat is capable of expressing. Most owners walk past it every single day, without ever knowing what they just received. The science of the cat stretch. To understand why the directed stretch means what it means, you first need to understand what stretching actually does for a cat on a physiological level. Because the biology is the foundation of the behavior. Cats sleep between 12 and 16 hours per day. During extended periods of stillness, their muscles experience reduced circulation and a buildup of metabolic byproducts that create stiffness. Stretching on waking is the body's solution to this. It restores blood flow to muscle tissue, reactivates the lymphatic system, re-establishes neuromuscular tone, and triggers a genuine release of endorphins, the same feel-good neurochemicals released during pleasurable activity. Stretching, for a cat, genuinely feels good. It is a moment of physical relief and reset. This much is purely mechanical. But here's the detail that changes everything. A full, deep stretch. Front paws extended, spine arched, body fully elongated, eyes briefly closed, is an inherently vulnerable position. In that moment, a cat's muscles are engaged in extension rather than contraction. They cannot sprint, cannot twist to defend themselves, cannot react quickly to a sudden threat. A cat in a full stretch is, for those few seconds, physically defenseless. And that means a full stretch only happens when a cat feels completely safe. Not just comfortable, genuinely, deeply safe. In the presence of a perceived threat, a cat stays compact. Weight forward, muscles ready. They do not stretch. The stretch itself is a safety signal, expressed through the body. When your cat stretches in front of you, they are telling you, physically and without ambiguity, that your presence produces that feeling of safety in them. The greeting stretch. Now here's where it becomes something more specific and more remarkable. There is a distinct category of stretch that animal behaviorists refer to as the greeting stretch, and it differs from a standard post-sleep stretch in one defining way. It is triggered by seeing you, not by waking up. The cat may have been sitting fully awake and alert. They were not asleep. And then you walked in, and they stretched. That is not a physical reset. That is a social signal. The sight of you specifically triggered a stretch response, and that connection is not accidental. In feline body language, the greeting stretch functions as an opening gesture. The cat equivalent of a human spreading their arms or leaning forward when someone they're happy to see enters the room. The message it carries is, I am relaxed. I am not guarded. I am glad you are here. Some animal behaviorists have compared it directly to the involuntary smile humans produce when they see someone they feel genuine affection for. A physical expression that happens before conscious thought, that reveals something true about how the other person makes you feel. The greeting stretch is your cat's version of that. Unfiltered, immediate, genuine, and most owners walk right past it. What the direction tells you. If you start paying attention to your cat's greeting stretches, you'll notice they're not all identical, and the differences carry specific meaning. The most significant variable is direction. When your cat stretches with their front paws extended toward you, literally reaching in your direction, that is an invitation for approach. They want you to come closer. They may want contact, a pet, a slow blink exchanged at close range, or they may simply want to close the physical distance between you. The directionality of the stretch is not random. It is oriented toward what they want next. When a stretch is followed by a slow roll onto the side or back, exposing the belly, the message intensifies. The belly is the most physically vulnerable part of a cat's body. The area they protect most instinctively in any situation of threat or uncertainty. Exposing it voluntarily is an act of complete trust. It communicates, I feel so safe with you that I will show you the part of myself I protect most. One important note here, a belly display is an expression of trust, not necessarily an invitation to touch. Many cats will react defensively to a hand reaching for their belly even immediately after a belly roll. Receive the display for what it is, a trust signal, without assuming it means open access. A stretch followed by the cat simply settling back and watching you quietly is an invitation for you to come to them. They're saying, I'm here, I'm open, whenever you're ready. The yawn component. A large number of greeting stretches are accompanied by a wide, exaggerated yawn. And this is worth understanding separately, because like the stretch itself, it looks like one thing and means another. The obvious interpretation is tiredness. And sometimes it is, but when a yawn occurs as part of a greeting stretch, when it's paired with the body language we've just described and triggered by your arrival, it is typically functioning as a calming signal rather than an expression of fatigue. In cat and broader animal body language, yawning in a social context communicates something specific. I am not tense. I am not in a state of alertness or readiness. Everything here is fine. Cats use it with each other when coexisting in close proximity as a way of signaling non-aggression and maintaining a relaxed shared environment. Directed at you, it carries that same message. Here's the element I find most interesting. A yawn briefly and fully exposes the teeth. In a different context, a direct stare, a rigid body, a hiss, that same exposure would be an unmistakable threat display. But embedded in a relaxed body, following a greeting stretch directed at someone the cat trusts, it becomes the exact opposite. It's saying, I could close off, I could be defensive, but I'm choosing not to. I choose openness with you. The combination of stretch and yawn together is one of the most layered, genuine greetings your cat is capable of giving. How to respond? Knowing all of this, the way you respond to a greeting stretch matters. More than most people realize. The most common response is no response at all. You walk in, your cat stretches, you glance over and keep moving. From your side, nothing significant happened. From your cat's side, they extended a vulnerable, trusting social gesture and received nothing back. Over time, not immediately, but gradually, cats who consistently receive no response to their greeting behaviors begin to offer them less frequently. The signal fades because it's not being met. The ideal response mirrors their energy without amplifying it. No sudden loud enthusiasm, which can actually startle a cat mid-stretch and create a jarring contrast with the calm they just expressed. Instead, move toward them at a relaxed pace. Get closer to their level and offer your hand for them to determine the next step. Let them decide whether that becomes a nose touch, a head bump, or simply staying close. If you want to respond in their own language, try returning a slow blink as you approach. You are completing the greeting on their terms, acknowledging what they offered and offering something back in kind. Done consistently, this kind of reciprocal communication builds a specific quality of trust between a cat and their owner that accumulates over months and years into something genuinely deep. Every time your cat stretches when they see you, they are choosing to be vulnerable in front of you. They are expressing, in the most physical way they have, that your presence makes them feel safe, that they are glad you walked in. That's not nothing. That's everything. Does your cat do this when you walk into a room? Tell me in the comments, and tell me what happens right after the stretch. That follow-up behavior is almost always just as meaningful. See you in the next one.